and dealing and coping with stress and stressors. So let me just tell you the rest of the story right quick to cut to the chase. First of all, they said that overall they did a study following 800 women between the ages of 38 and 54, so they're right in the middle-aged crunch period, for almost 4 decades. Wow, for 40 years they were following these women. Overall, 104 women developed Alzheimer's disease, but the rate was much higher for women who were stressed out. Well, maybe I'm a candidate for that because I just got stressed all the time for everything. And it says of the 63 with the highest levels of stress, 16 eventually developed Alzheimer's. So that's 25% of the women out of the 63 developed Alzheimer's. But what they did find was that the women who were more laid back, being half that number, only 8 out of the 16 developed the disease. And so they're just looking at this association between stress and Alzheimer's disease. And so, obviously there's a lot of things during this middle-aged period in our life that, can cause us to have other chronic diseases as we, go on. One of them, we're going to move on and talk about vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D, there we go. 5 illnesses that are linked to vitamin D deficiency. So while I was looking this week at the Alzheimer's situation in middle-aged women, and we've already talked about vitamin D, but one of the number one things on the list that they talked about was a study published by the Journal of Neurology found that moderate to severe vitamin D deficiency in older adults can double the risk for some forms of dementia, including Alzheimer's disease. And if you don't know what dementia is a decline in thinking, behavior, and memory that's going to negatively affect daily life. And most of us are familiar with Alzheimer's. It's the most common form of dementia, and it accounts for as many as 80% of the dementia cases. It's so interesting because as I was reading through this article, and I may or may not get through all of them tonight, but you'll definitely be able to get the article posted up on our Facebook page. It caused me to ask another question when we're talking about dementia and we're talking about memory loss. I was like, does anybody know if smoking weed causes Alzheimer's disease, causes dementia? Because there's a study that links smoking weed at a young age. They did a study 16 to 17 years old, younger people who smoke weed for, a length of period of time. And then after they stopped smoking weed, experienced issues with short-term memory loss. And what they did was they kind of analyzed the brain patterns of those young people and found that those brain patterns were similar to those who are found in a person who's experiencing schizophrenia. So I was like, okay, well, marijuana's been made, medical marijuana has been made legalized. And I was like, everybody's on the tip of, smoke weed and get high and, but then weed smoking is also linked to delusions and schizophrenia. So guess what was number 5? You'll never guess what was number 5 on my list. Dementia was number 1 on the list. Oh, wait a minute, number 4 on the list, schizophrenia. So people who are vitamin D deficient are twice as likely to be diagnosed with schizophrenia compared to people who are, have sufficient vitamin D levels. So schizophrenia, dementia, weed smoking, it all comes together for you that you can't remember a damn thing. I was like, well, you know what? I must be really already at pre-dementia stage because I got so much stuff going on from one minute to the next that maybe I'm just overloaded. I don't know. But anyway, so dementia was number 1, prostate cancer. Oh my God. You're going to get sick of me saying it over and over again. But 667 men aged 40 to 79 years undergoing prostate biopsies, and they found that there was a connection between the deficiency in vitamin D and prostate cancer, especially September was Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. This was especially among African American men. Next thing was ED. Remember we talked about Mr. Ed? ED. Guess how many men? Guess how many men were affected? 30 million American men are affected from this health condition, and they link it to vitamin D deficiency, schizophrenia, and fifth on the list was heart disease. So if nothing else, if you can't get out in the sun because sunshine is not for everybody, you definitely want to get your vitamin D pills from your doctor. It could save your life. Let alone, we didn't mention osteoporosis. We didn't mention breast cancer. This month is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so we want you to encourage you. In fact, let me just say this really quick because I got to get off the air. To write in, to email us, to share your story. If you are a survivor of breast cancer and you want to share your story, I encourage you to write into us at go to my website, drpattycares.com, or keep in touch on Twitter at Dr. Patty Live or Dr. Patty Cares, and you can also Facebook me. We want you to share your story. If you survived breast cancer, share your story to encourage somebody else who's going through it. And October is also National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, so we have beat that horse to death, but this is also Domestic Violence Awareness, so also keep that in mind. And you know what, guys? Last and not least, Ebola is in the United States. Go to the news. Keep your eyes and ears open. I will post these articles on our website. And I am out of time. Oh, my goodness. Tonight's show has been brought to you by who? Oh, my goodness. Who brought us tonight's show? Brought to you by Dottie's Downsizing. You better go, girl. Dottie's Downsizing Service. No job is too small for Dottie. Dottie's Downsizing know how to make your moving project a success. And if you want to get more information, call 919-729-AUNT. Call Aunt Dot. Call Aunt Dot. And who else? The Midlife Resource Center, as always, because we got to help these folks with all these midlife problems. www.managedmidlife.com, helping you to navigate through your midlife transitions. And Colby Page Catering, as always, Chef Gil and his group are always there to make your party, your whatever, your event a success at www.colbypagecatering.com. I love you guys. I gotta go. I'm headed back to the big North Carolina. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. I'm taking off Columbus Day to celebrate Christopher Columbus, the Nina Pinta Santa Maria, all that good stuff. So, good night. That's all, folks. I love you guys. Bye-bye.